Hello, guys. Welcome back to the channel. To my left, we've got Mr. Matt.
Yeah, hello Dan, how's it going?
All right, you.
It's our usual routine. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Getting there. It's been a good week so far.
Yeah, some quite a few good results with the first team, then the academy lads getting the results in their cup. So it's been quite a good week.
Yeah, and the potential draw if we can do the business on Monday. So we've got a weekend sandwich, as we were just saying, with a couple of very tasty fixtures providing the bread, and then hopefully a nice filling in between. So yeah, happy days really.
I mean, I'll touch upon the cup draw straight away because obviously if we get by Huddersfield, we'll play Liverpool, and obviously we've not played Liverpool for nearly over 20 years, so it's like
Yeah.
it'd be a nice little reunion.
Yeah, absolutely. They haven't beaten us for ages, have they? So we've got to feel confident going into that one. But no, it's exactly the kind of fixture you want, isn't it? You don't want to, ruin the promotion push with FA Cup if we're not going to win it. We can't afford to mess about with these Tin Pot Cups. So yeah, if we get Liverpool, if we get through, first of all, to get that done first, as they always say, and then if we got Liverpool, it's a win-win, isn't it? Really, you lose, no one expects you to win. If you win, well, you never forget that, and you might end up winning the cup. You kind of should. If you beat them, you're going to be one of them. You're in there, aren't you?
Oh yeah, all day long. And it'd be a nice little cup thing if we didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, Huddersfield won't make it easy, even though we got Sheffield United and tonight, and that won't be an easy game either.
Yeah, well, without Spence, it's going to be tricky again, and we've got that decision to make with left back, which is going to be an interesting one. I fear he's going to put Cole back there again rather than pick Larea or something like that. Personally, I'd pick Larea, although he hasn't played in a back five. You can afford to, I think. So that's what I would do, and I'll keep Cole back in midfield at all costs. But we'll see. And then, like you say, Huddersfield are not going to be a pushover at all. If we turn up, we'll beat them, and we stand a good chance tonight as well if we turn up at our best. But we've been a little bit on and off, haven't we, the last few games? So just hope we're not going to suffer from that over the weekend, and hopefully they've got the mindset dead right for tonight, and they can carry it on till Monday. I think as long as they do well tonight, I think Monday will take care of itself.
Yeah, should do. And obviously, as I mentioned, the team lineup tonight. Obviously, we'll have to make a change regardless anyway. But obviously, it'd be nice to go Swan as we can at Sheffield United, then be Swan on Monday with Huddersfield. But we need to be back at our best, especially with Sheffield United, because they are starting to pick up that bit of form now.
Yeah, they're like us basically. It's they're making a run. They had a bad start, and they're looking strong, aren't they? I'd put money on them getting the playoffs, whatever the result is tonight. So realistically, a draw is going to be a good result.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed if we didn't win tonight, but I wouldn't want to lose. A point will always be a fair draw.
Yeah, I mean, you take a draw right now, and possibly they would too. But I think a lot of it rests on us. If the proper Forest team, which usually turns up, we can beat anyone. But like I say, these last few games we've had a couple of slightly off-colour performances, which are a little bit inexplicable. But I'd like to think they're going to be really, really motivated tonight. They've had time to think about it, and it'll work in our favour. But we'll see. We're going to be, we've got an interesting evening.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sheffield United at home over the years has always been a very tricky place to go to. I mean, I know they came down and obviously they had a bit of a bad start to the season, so obviously their home ground not as much as Fortress like it's normally is. So Forest played the A game tonight, they could get something out of it.
It's going to be hostile, isn't it? There's a bit of history and stuff, so it's a great mouth-watering fixture, really, isn't it? I mean, it's one of those real pivotal games, as we say. It seems to be say every week, but it really is tonight. You win these, whoever wins, and it puts them in a really good position. You lose, and you're the opposite, basically. But we've got to try and win all these games. I think at this stage of the season, you can't really be too tactical and aim for a draw or something. I think hopefully they're positive, they go for it. Doesn't mean all out, gung ho from the first minute to the last, but if they're sensible, they can win this game.
Yeah.
But the selection's going to be interesting, I think, because personally, without Colback in midfield, I think we're a lot more vulnerable. But I can see him putting Colback at left back again.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing about having that span in that central area. So you haven't World Cup McKenna in that back line, and you got Colback, who's like the genuine midfielder. And obviously, at the minute, it's Davies up front. So it's like, at the minute, it's like you can sort of do something in that span.
Yeah, no, it's strong, isn't it? They're all playing well, really. And I mean, the midfields are, pick who you like, really. There's 3 players there who are all doing pretty well. And it's a matter of debate which 2 you'd pick out of the 3 all the time. So it's tempting to just play them all and put one on the left back. But for me, I'd always pick Colback first. And then the other 2, well, you've got a decision to make, haven't you? So it's tricky, but, I think with the other 2, without Colback, we're vulnerable, very vulnerable. They get walked past too easily. They're positional players and as smart. They're just, Colback just settles everything down and put, the foundations are a lot stronger. So, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'd be another sellout away following which it just shows how good our fan base is. Like, we are definitely behind them at the minute, and obviously it's a bit of a derby, but it's not a derby, if that makes sense. Another sellout away following, it is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, everything's really positive around the club, right the way through the club for once, really. The owners and everything seem to be behaving themselves and supporting the manager, and the football side of it's going fantastic. Like you say, Cooper's set the tone. The first team are doing well, fantastically well, and it's filtering down throughout the academy as well. So there's a lot of success, there's a lot of positivity. The fans have been crying out for it for years, haven't they? And we've always turned up, really, however crap it's been. And now there's something, it's enjoyable. And, personally, I don't care if we don't get into, obviously you want to get into the playoffs, you want to get promoted, but we're moving in the right direction. As long as we keep moving in the right direction and believing in the team, we'll turn up. And hopefully that will make the difference. And it's inevitable we're going to have some success, whether it's this year, next year, or the year after, if we stick to what we're doing. It's just bound to happen.
Yeah. I mean, the under 23s are through to the next round of the cup after winning on Wednesday. The under 18s winning last night against Blackburn, so they're in the semi-final. Obviously, the club is gearing up for a really, really good couple of years, and hopefully Cooper sees it through now, and he's implementing something that, well, he is, Gary Brazil is, Murphy is, for something special.
Yeah, and there's the younger players going out on loan as well. So there's, it's not like we've just stacked our team with, fringe first team players that are playing games and sort of, well, I know they can't play in the cup, but, still, it's a weakened academy teams, really, at our own choice, and they're still doing well, and they're still getting valuable experience. And there's players that should be coming through, next season, the following season. There's a lot of talent there. So, it's hopefully it shows on the balance sheet, which I saw also came out this week and was probably less enjoyable read or less enjoyable watch than what goes on the grass. But that's the reality of it, isn't it? You're not going to make money in this league, however many of us turn up and pay our money, with COVID as well on top of that. But as long as the owner's patient, put some money in, backs the kids, and has a good manager that gets the best out of whatever's spent or not spent, it's going to work out, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that came out this morning about 34 million that we lost, and Mackie is clearing 12 million of the debt into shares. So obviously, he's committing himself to the long term, and hopefully that he will start to reap that reward, if not sooner rather than later.
Well, he's got to be a lot happier, hasn't he? Like we all are with Cooper. You actually feel like whether you're putting in 12 million or whether you're putting in £12.50 for a kid's ticket or whatever it might be, it's gonna be worth it. So we're all getting value for money, and the success on the field is just a matter of time, I feel now, and it makes sense. We can all understand it, can't we? Whereas all these kind of shows are a little bit boring now. It's like, who do you want to drop? Well, no one. Keep the same team. They're all playing well. There's not many decisions to make. He's doing everything right. You can't really talk too much about it. And just these couple of weird performances. But aside from that, it all makes sense, and the transfers on the whole make sense. Actually, that's probably one of the most confusing things to me. How we spend so much money on people he hasn't played at all. And you wonder why they spent it like this year, even if they're going to, buy them and loan them back out and put an extra year on their contract or something. But the likes of, Larea, that we talked about earlier, and Ajada, they haven't hardly kicked a ball for us, have they? So
Really?
Hopefully it's looking ahead to next season, and they're just really bedding them in really, really slowly in their long-term transfers. But, I've had little murmurs from Canada, like, why isn't he playing, from his Canadian teammates. A friend of mine is a coach over at Vancouver. Well, he's actually a fitness guy over at Vancouver, and he got in touch with me this week and said, what's going on with Larea? And because people have been kind of asking. So I think when he came, he thought he was going to play, and we kind of needed him immediately, but then he kind of couldn't play, and he probably would have done if he could. But now when he can, we kind of don't need him, and you can't really drop people, and you can't complain. You're not going to drop Spence in a million years. You're not going to drop Lowe either, and you could be, Reece James, and you're going to have a hard time getting into the team. So, it's no disrespect to him, but it must be frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, it does make you think, but then you can see the long-term goal, especially with Jada, with Panzer, with Ojeda. I can imagine they are doing long-term thinking, especially if like Spence don't come back, with Fig going, with Garner potentially not coming back next season. I mean, that three players, so I can imagine that long-term planning with them three, like get them in now, then bed them in for next season. Or obviously the performances of them three at the minute, you can't really drop them.
No, you can't drop them. You've got Mbe So as well. I mean, he must be frustrated. He's been here quite a long time now. He's hardly played a game. I know he's been injured and stuff, but again, you can't really pick him. But maybe the next year or so, transfers aside, you might be giving him and Panzo the odd game and stuff like this. So, yeah, hopefully it's all long-term thinking, and we've spent our money now. We're not going to need to spend much at all in the future with the academy as well. So, yeah, I mean, it all makes sense, so it's encouraging, isn't it? And we just got to keep getting a few results on the pitch. And, it'd be nice if we get in the playoffs this year, because I think we're going to have a really good chance if we can just get enough points to get the sixth spot or higher.
I mean, it's reachable, and I was saying earlier that if we don't get it this season, it'd be a good building block for next season. Like with the squad, get two more players in, and with the academy, it's like that sixth spot. Even if it's reachable this season, we'll look a lot more confident next season.
You'd bet a lot of money on it next season. I mean, I know we've got a few exceptional loan players. And we've got, it's a weak league this year, which it can't possibly, I think it's been the weakest league for a long time. It was just the Houghton element at the start of the season. That aside, we're basically like Derby. We had our points taken off us by Houghton. But that aside, we'd be sitting pretty, wouldn't we? It'd be no debate, but we'd already be in the playoffs probably. So, we've got to be patient. If we get them this year, it'll be a massive bonus. Let's face it. Until Cooper came in, there's no one in their right mind that would ever imagine we'd have got in the playoffs. So we've got to treat it as a bonus. We'll inevitably go into them in good form if we get into them. And if we are in them, Cooper, I don't think any manager in the league will fancy facing him over two legs or at Wembley. So, we're hopefully going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. I mean, it could all turn into a damp squid. But, next few games are going to be pivotal.
Definitely. What's your score prediction for tonight?
Let's say 1-1. Let's be a little bit conservative. What do you think?
I'd take 1-1. I think. I'll take 0-0 because I know.
Yeah, we're not fussy. Or 2-2 or 3-3 or whatever you want. Yeah.
Touch wood. On that one as well because don't get me wrong, when Novar first came in, I thought, we're going to concede, but since he's been in goal, it's like not conceded. We took 4 points out of 6, and it's like I'm surprised, but don't get me wrong, tonight will be a different game against them, but I feel like I'll take a 0-0 or even take 1-0. It's like either I'll be happy with, or if we nick it, it's like.
Oh yeah, I think realistically, we've got to be reasonably happy with the draw. You definitely don't want to get beaten. A draw will be a decent result, but with our team, I think there's always that potential we can win it. So, hopefully the right Forest team turns up and we can nick it and surprise both of us. But yeah, I was actually going to touch on Horvath as well. He has done brilliantly, but it'll be an interesting game for him because it's going to be. Well, I don't know. Let's hope he doesn't touch the ball, but apart, and it doesn't go behind him at the same time. But it's a pivotal game for him because if he plays well, if he has a good game, then it becomes another issue whether Samba stays in. So far, he's made an excellent fist of it, metaphorically and literally on a few occasions. And it's going to be a decision to be made, especially if he puts in a good performance tonight and. Make some significant saves, which he might well have to. So it's going to be a test for him, and it's going to be a test for us, and it's going to be a question for Cooper come the next fixture in FA Cup, I guess. So I don't know. What do you think? They're going to bring back Samba? Are they going to? Well, I mean, we're talking a bit before the Lord Mayor's show, aren't we? I mean, it depends what he does tonight. He might make the decision easy, but what do you think? Where we are now?
At the minute, it's that sort of saying, why would you change it if you have to? Why would you change something that's not broken? Like, it's that same old cliche to refer. I mean, if over touch wood, if he plays out his skin tonight and plays well, I think he should be able to keep it the shirt. Or worst case scenario, he has a blunder and does an incoming or something. Do what he did against Borough, then Samba might come back in. So I think it's one of them ones where I think he should keep the shirt for Monday.
I think whatever he does, it's one of those where you call both players into your dressing to the office before the game, and you have a discussion about it. Whatever decision he's going to make, whatever happens tonight, because personally, where I'm sitting, I'd be inclined to bring back Samba on the basis I think he's probably the better goalkeeper. I think Horvath's very good goalkeeper, and he's not far behind. He's an excellent keeper, and everything he's done so far has been positive. So you'd want to kind of say to him, I've got no worries about you if he does end up dropping him. And it will have been a good learning experience whether he plays 3 games or 4 games or whatever. On the other hand, yeah, you might be inclined to keep him in for 1 or 2 games more, even if you're going to make that change, if you don't feel Samba's, kind of learn his lesson and is going to turn over a new leaf. So I think either way, you call them into your office and you say, this is what I expect. And if it's a win-win, hopefully, whatever.
Yeah, and I think it is quite good. I mean, we don't know what days off in the training anyway, but I think when Samba does come back, I feel like this will be might give Samba that wake up call. He needs that. Like, okay, you far 2 out of 3 games, he kept two clean sheets. Hopefully tonight I'll keep another one. And he'll be like, right, okay, I got some competition now.
Yeah, exactly. Whether they bring him back or not, they should say, well, look, he's done his job. He's more than proved himself as a second choice, and you've got to watch it, else he might become a first choice, and you might have to do the second choice job. He'll have had enough time for reflection, and he'll be regretting what he did more than anyone. I don't think he'll do it again in a hurry. And you don't want to change him so much so he's, becomes a completely different person, but he needs to reflect on, what's best for him and what's best for his career and what's best for the team, most importantly. So Cooper will do that, and he'll make the right decision, whatever it is. But it'll be another interesting one. It's like the midfield. I mean, Samba should never have done it in the first place. We'd probably have won that game, and we'd be better off in the league. We'd probably be that much closer to playoffs. But if he's done it and he's opened the door, so on his head to be it. If he doesn't get back in, it's his fault. He can't blame anyone else, can
he? No, completely agree. Actually, we've got fun today.
What's that? I don't even understand that.
I'm the same.
Hope it's not rude.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for Matt for coming on.
Thanks, Dan. All right. Well, let's hope you have a tasty weekend and 6 metaphorical points.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys later.